Claire took her pants off.
But I had to.
You did not take your pants off though, did
No,
you? You were wearing a hat.
Okay, Ross, let's move on to the next level. I can't do it. Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing well today. As you can probably tell, this is a bit of a different video. We are moving from inside to out and thought we'd show you a little bit of what we've been up to in our garden recently.
Not moving. We are expanding.
Expanding. Yeah, absolutely still going to be doing lots of houseplanty things, but...
I'm not. I'm still remaining out of that. Claire's doing that, but I'm now involved in the garden.
Yeah.
Because I quite like it.
You have fallen in love with gardening,
I really have.
you?
I never thought I would. I thought I'd like it a bit, but I've gotten really into it. Like I really look forward to every time I see the sun out, I kind of want to be in the garden.
It's so lovely.
Could be a sign of my age, possibly. Or maybe it is just a fun thing to do. It's the first time either of us have probably had our own sort of outdoor, like our own outdoor space. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
It's fun.
It is. So yeah, obviously we moved in here in January and it is now June. And we just thought we'd take you on a little bit of a walkthrough of everything we've done in the garden up until this point, but also some projects that we've got kind of going on, some ideas that we've had, things that we hope to do next, some plants that we're growing.
Yeah, we've kind of got a lot done. But also we've got a lot more to do. So yeah, you're sort of catching us. It looks like when you see like what we've done, what the garden looked like to what it is now, it almost kind of feels like you could be done, but we really aren't. We've got like a lot more things and we're kind of, figuring it out as we go.
It feels like we've actually got more to do now because we've had so many ideas.
The more we do it, the more we kind of go, oh, we could do that, we could do that, we could do that, which is a lot of fun. And this garden does allow for a little bit of that as well, which is very cool. And hopefully you'll see some of the stuff that we've done and stuff we've done wrong.
Oh, yes.
Stuff we will continue to do wrong, and just know that everything that looks like it's been done wrong was deliberate.
So yeah, that is the plan for today's video. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name's Claire.
And this is Ross.
And this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learned over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And yeah, without further ado,
let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, as you might be able to see, this is very much your work.
How dare you?
We have been getting stuck into some projects and we're going to take you through all of them in a minute. But yeah, as we kind of said at the beginning, we are both complete beginners to this, aren't we? We've never really done anything like this before. I feel quite out of my depth actually, because I always think of myself as like the plant person and I know so much about plants, and outdoor growing so far does just seem to be quite different.
This is the first time I kind of got like stuck into it, got your hands dirty and sort of planting things and learning where things go and where they don't go more often than not. And
it's just
deliberately try to wing it a little bit, Google it a little bit to make sure that you're not
I was going to say you guys as well. I've been asking on Instagram and I've been asking kind of in the comments of my videos about advice for kind of getting started with all of this, and like one of the really good tips that actually kind of inadvertently has happened, but a lot of you were saying, see what naturally grows. Like just leave your garden for the first year and see what comes up. And although we have planted some things and we've done a little bit of jiggery pokery here and there have been so many things throughout the season that we've lived here that have just started happening naturally in the garden, and it's been lovely to see.
Yeah, when we look back at some of the pictures of what it looked like when we first got here, because we moved in like sort of dead winter, so everything was really bare.
Yeah.
And I was sort of worried that we just had a dead garden. And we still do like halfway through the year, which is a big thing for me. And things like that, we're sort of like, right, okay, so, because I just thought, oh, this garden's dreadful, we need to redo it. And actually so much stuff has kind of come up and it's like, right, okay, well that's going to, now we know that's going to come up at a certain point. What can we do at different times of the season to make the garden look as nice as possible throughout? That's been a big kind of conversation that we've had. And
I think this is the thing, because I know a lot of people are very content with letting the garden pretty much completely die back, over the winter months. And although I know we won't be spending as much time out here over the winter months, we've kind of set certain areas up so that hopefully we can spend time out here all year round, and we'd like to have some greenery. We don't just want everything to be very dead and bare. We'll take you through a few individuals as we kind of get around to them, but that's been kind of our focus so far, I would say.
Yeah, and we've kind of, when you think, we've only been really doing this for like the last month or so, I'd say.
Yeah, well, you got really quite into it when I was at Malvern, didn't you? Because I came back and, again, we'll show you in a minute, but you had put in this beautiful, beautiful little kind of bed area and created some steps and...
Yeah, little things like that. But so like as soon as the weather got nice, like doing bits and pieces, and then as it's gotten really nice, then kind of wanting to do a little bit more about it. And I think when you have people over as well, you kind of want it to look as nice as possible. So like, It's like when you tidy your house before everyone comes around. We've been doing that with the garden, really. So
as I say, I'll have put some clips in of what it looked like. Well, I say what it looked like when we first moved in. The clips that I actually took of the garden were probably only about 8 weeks ago or something, but it was before we'd kind of done that much. I think the magnolia was in flower at the time and it looked so beautiful. It's now dropping all of the centres of the flowers everywhere. They're just covering the garden.
God, yeah.
But no, since that point that I took that footage, we have done so much, and so much has happened in the garden. So I thought I'd take you through, firstly, just a few tools that we bought to make gardening easier, because we started off with absolutely nothing, like complete blank canvas. So yeah, I will show you some of the things that we've bought to make our lives easier, and then we can take you through bit by bit. Now, these might seem obvious, but bear with. Number one is a hose pipe. When you've got a steep garden like ours, we found that doing things with a watering can was just too much faff. It's genuinely been a really good investment and something we've used almost every day. Plus, I've been able to use it for my indoor plants too, instead of taking them all up to the shower. Spades, trowels and pruning shears have also been essential, as has a rake for our garden, as our trees aren't evergreen and are constantly dropping leaves. Our garden's also full of rocks, so a pickaxe has absolutely come in handy. And perhaps more specific to some of our projects, but a spirit level has also been very handy. You'll see why in a minute. Now, you might have noticed one of the things that we haven't done so far is cut our grass.
It's ridiculous out there.
And we've been sent something really, really exciting to try out. So this is going to be probably the niftiest gadget for our garden, if not entire house so far.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, me too. We actually saw these at Malvern when we were there. They're essentially robotic lawnmowers, aren't they? This brand is Mammotion. I'll put all the details down in the description box below. But our grass is getting absolutely crazy, and in theory, this should just take care of it for us and mean that we don't have to do anything. Ooh, this does look fancy. Oh my goodness.
This is the future.
Oh, look at his little blades on the bottom.
Does it sort of charge itself like through this?
This is actually insane. I am so excited to try this. So yeah, we're going to be testing this, firstly on our very, very overgrown garden. We're going to be testing it over the next month or so, and I'll let you know what the verdict is. Should we test it on the front garden first? Because I haven't shown you guys the front garden yet, and we could take a little peek.
We've got a bit more front than we got back.
Cool, let's do it. So, the front garden. I'm ashamed to say we haven't touched the grass since we moved in here, and as a result, it's pretty wild and full of weeds. Although the YUKA mini mower is designed more to maintain and cut grass, we thought, to hell with it. We'll jump right in and see if it can tackle this mess. Oh my goodness, it's actually doing it! Wow! The YUKA Mini has wheels designed to help it grip, meaning that although our front garden is fairly small and flat, a big slopey space wouldn't stop it from doing the job. It comes with an antenna, meaning you can use GPS signal to automatically navigate around the lawn. It connects with an app on your phone where you can also control it in manual mode, which is essentially like a remote control car. Ross enjoyed this very much. It's surprisingly quiet actually, isn't it? You could let it mow the lawn at all hours without disturbing the neighbours. It's also fitted with a light for dark evenings and cameras, meaning that you don't have to keep an eye on it. It will automatically change direction if something comes into its path. And the best bit is, once it's done mowing, it will automatically take itself back to its charging station and put itself on charge for next time. It really is such an easy and low maintenance way to keep your grass looking lovely.
Start charging.
So thank you very much, Mammotion, for sending us... Well, our neighbours have named him Trevor, haven't they?
They have indeed.
Our lovely robotic lawnmower. But yes, as I say, bringing us to the front garden, we haven't done, bar letting Trevor loose on it, we haven't actually done that much to the front garden yet. But we're really lucky, actually. We've got loads of rosemary and sage all through the beds, and in fact going all down our path as well from our neighbour's garden. So you've been doing some drying out of herbs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was so excited about that because look, I like pepper rosemary and everything, so it's quite nice to be able to. Yeah, we've got so much of it. Like it's only thing that's planted in this garden.
It is
rosemary. So
well,
it's really
actually,
cool.
I was going to say we've got a little rose there, and I don't know, maybe we could be doing more to kind of bring out the best in it. But it did flower a couple of times earlier this year, and it was really, really pretty. It's just kind of in amongst everything though, so I think the front garden is probably the thing that we will come to last.
It doesn't need too much as well. Like it could do with a bit of tidying. It could do with a little bit of something. But yes,
we thought about maybe at some point a little picket fence or something to just contain it a little bit, and again, it would make it a little bit more Yoli safe.
Possibly, yeah, because you'll see it kind of just keeps going straight. So if we open the door, then it's a clear exit out. And luckily we have quite a quiet road. There's not many houses down here, so it's not like there's busy traffic and things like that. But our dog is different. So yes, so yeah, this is. I mean, the good news is we haven't done a lot with it, but we haven't needed to.
No,
but there's definitely things we can do. But as you say, it's probably not top of our list. But we need to think about it. And actually, this is the one where I'm like, ideas. What are simple things that we can do to this garden just to make it look a little bit different?
What you would do in this space. We've got a little log store that was put in by, I assume, the last people that lived here, that is a little bit rough around the edges, and I think we were thinking potentially up against this fence, eventually we might do a bigger log store. Because we use logs in the house, and as you will see when we get to the back garden, we've got some other uses for logs nowadays as well. But we've bought a couple of things. We got this lovely plant, which I think is a fatsia or something like that. We were told it was one that should be able to keep going all year round, which is lovely. I don't know if maybe we should plant it into the ground. The fact that we've got magnolia growing, I believe, suggests that we've got quite an acidic soil. So if anyone knows whether or not that plant would do well in that kind of soil, let us know. And then we did also buy a eucalyptus, which I'm very sad to say has died a bit of a death.
It's the sun is pretty much like that. Kind of goes all the way over there. So once we get it, once it comes over the house, then it's so hot in this garden. So yeah, it's one of those ones that is going to need to be hardy kind of plants because there is zero shade once that sun kind of comes over.
The time we were at Malvern, that one just went to nothing, didn't it? So
we forget about this garden a little bit as well. I think we, like you said, even though we've got a tap out here, we totally forget that this garden also needs a bit of watering because it does kind of look after itself. But if we looked after it a bit more, we'd probably do a bit better.
Yeah, this is definitely next project, but we have done a fair amount in the back garden, haven't we? So shall we take you through and show you what we've been up to?
Yes, let's.
So now coming through to the back garden, we thought it would be easier because of the way our garden is laid out to kind of take you through everything in levels. It has been, I think tiring is the word, working with this garden because it is so steep. It comes up higher than our actual house. And one of the projects that you're very much taking on at the moment involves lugging very heavy bricks all the way through. So that has been a leg workout.
Well, so far we've laid. We've changed, like you can see the steps, I think, somewhere like here. So they had a different colour rock. All of our steps did have some stones in. And I took all those stones out because we are replacing them with other stones, which was a job that took quite a long time. It was quite hard work, which is why we didn't film it, because it made me look very weak. So we've got some new stones, some new purpley type things, which are here, except that's only 2 bags. There are another 18 to go, so I'm going to carry those stones up now. So we changed every single one of them, which is about 20 odd steps, which was, I think, in the end, 30 bags of rock. I've been popping this membrane down all of the steps, and they go all the way down to the very bottom. So all the way down here, which under here as well, put some extra, I put some stones down there, because that one gets a little bit, gets a bit boggy down there. Hopefully that will give it a bit more drainage. The rest of it I haven't done because it doesn't really get that bad. That will help with the weeds, get a few of them, so I'm hoping that will sort of do about that. It's not going to solve it entirely. Also, it's just going to stop the domes getting a bit dirty, isn't it? And that'll just look a bit nice. For God's sake, I always get things on my nose, don't I? I just learned that gardening is moving dirt from one side of the garden to the other, and it's just different kinds of dirt.
Moving dirt.
So many things going up and down this thing. So while legs are, yeah, absolutely, it's absolutely strong as fudge.
But the colour of the slate, I don't know if it's really kind of showing up in there. It's so pretty. We went for like a purple slate, and I just think it looks really nice. Brings a little bit of colour to the garden.
A little bit of something, especially when you've got a very green thing, isn't it? That's a bit of fun.
And talking of colour to the garden, this geranium, which I'm pretty sure is now classified as pelargonium, I think they've changed it. I just love looking out of the kitchen window and seeing that. I think it's so pretty. And something that I would love is, so the area that we're kind of standing in now, we have not touched yet. We haven't done anything at all. We have in fact got a very large mirror here, which again is from Emma's show garden at Malvern, that we're going to put up on the wall and kind of make this into a smaller little seating area, I think. But it would be so lovely to have something in the hanging basket year round, and I don't know what that would be. So again, like evergreens that also maybe bloom in the spring and summer. Any recommendations? Because that's something that would be potentially quite nice. Also, I was going to say, we've mentioned gardening is lots about kind of failing. I put this in when we first moved in. I kind of shoved it between the sleepers, this little box, and it looked really pretty.
You were so proud, weren't you?
I was so proud of it, and nothing's done well in it. I'm not quite sure why that is. In fact, I do know why that is. I think initially I just put stuff in pots in there and they probably needed repotting, and then you potted directly into it and it didn't have very good drainage, so I think it's just hoarded the water.
It's
and things
also,
died.
It's not the most, because the sun doesn't quite, we got it for the moment, but we've only got it probably for another hour at this level. Up there, it's amazing. We get so much light up there because we're so high up. The sun comes above the house. We're really lucky that we get that. But this bit gets really like sort of shady, probably like in, I'd probably say an hour's time. So it doesn't get a great deal. And obviously that's in the midsummer. Outside of that, there's not a lot. So I've moved one of the things that looked like it was surviving up to one of the higher ones, and we'll see if that helps a little bit more. This thing sadly looks like, I don't know, there might be some salvageability to it, but
it doesn't look very happy.
It might be something that we can salvage, or something needs to go in there that, like you were saying, is a little bit more hardy. We've added some drainage since I stabbed it with a pair of scissors.
Perfect.
But yes, I wonder if down here something else is maybe needed.
Eventually it would just be nice to have this as just a little, like in the winter months, for example, we can just kind of pop out here if we wanted to just sit down and, I don't know, maybe get a heater or something, I don't know. We've had thoughts about that up there as well, actually, but just a nice little space that you can be outside and then still appreciate some greenery in. Yeah, it's been kind of the last thing. This in the front garden is the thing we've done the least to so far.
Mainly because, they are, when you see it, like, that's the bit you want to hang out in. That's the best bit of the garden. This bit's really nice, but at the moment it's kind of more where Yoli comes to do her business if need be. But it's a lovely spot. We could be doing more with it. But I think when you get up top, there's definitely more to do, and that's kind of why we focused on it a bit. But we should do more to it, and it would be, you still got to walk through it.
Well, so coming over here, I think our neighbours have told us that this is jasmine, and I know this is such a basic thing that I feel like I should know, but I don't know. I really don't know. It smells beautiful. But yeah, we've got a pink one and a white one, and they both smell absolutely gorgeous. So whenever you walk past them, you just get little whiffs of floral scents, which is lovely. And apparently, again, this is from my neighbours, I need to check this, but they seem to think that this is an evergreen and this will just stay green all year round. And if that's the case, amazing, because it's so lovely to have a bit of bushiness coming over the fence. I think it looks
Very
nice.
70s.
And then these beds, when we first moved in, they were just dead and bare, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that a couple of the plants in there, I believe, are hydrangeas. And the purple thing is actually, and Alan Titchmarsh's Gardening Club, the crew of that's told me this, they, when they were here, said that it was purple elderflower, which is really quite exciting because obviously you can do lots of things with elderflowers. So
I want to make a cordial out of it.
a cordial.
A cordial, yes, sort of.
So yeah, we should
sort of thing, yeah.
absolutely do some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing is, so obviously we were talking about wanting to keep the garden looking nice and green all year round. Obviously in this section, like, I don't know, it looked so dead when we first moved in. So I think we don't want to get rid of the hydrangeas because right now they look beautiful. But I think maybe finding stuff to plant around them so that we can kind of keep it looking.
It would be nice to have, because honestly, when you'll see the pictures of it, it's so bare. They looked dead. I'm fascinated to know how plants can come back from that kind of thing, because they really did. They were brittle. They looked like just dried out. And I mean, I water those. I've been watering them every single day, and I don't know if that'll help them last a little bit through winter. I honestly don't know, but they really go back to nothing. And
Bearing in mind, this is the part of the garden that we see when we look out of the window as well. It would be nice. Like, we've got a lovely, I think, hebe bush there, and that stays looking lovely all year round.
more of that kind of stuff, wouldn't it? Even like you said, if it was like in front, and then the rest, it wouldn't look too bad. So we might have to like get a few of those in.
Give it a prune back, plant some
Suggestions on that
stuff
would be amazing.
around the perimeter or something.
Yeah.
The other thing we have been struggling with in this garden as a whole is bindweed. We've got it
Fudges.
everywhere, literally everywhere. I'm just looking now and I can see tons of it. It gets itself around everything and you think you've got it all out by the roots. We're really, really aiming to not use anything like pesticide-wise that's going to interfere with wildlife or anything like that, because we'd like to attract lots of pollinators. I know you would probably go in with the hard stuff given the choice.
Oh yeah, bleach and fire, absolutely. I would, for anything like that. It's just because it's quicker, it's easier, but I do appreciate the reason not to do that one.
Yeah.
I think, yes, if this was my garden, like a lot of people I think would probably use the pesticides
Oh yeah,
there.
lots of people do.
But there
opt for
are,
that.
we have worked out there are some alternatives that you could use. Weed killers, for example, where and it has worked a little bit, is just vinegar and salt, and like particularly around the steps, quite a lot comes up from that one. So obviously that's not going to hurt any other plants because nothing's growing out of that one. Just a spray of that with a little pump thing has kind of helped a little bit, and it does keep it at bay, and that's a nice way of doing things. I guess it must be quite delicious, isn't it? Salt and vinegar, essentially. Yeah, so that's like one of the things that we're doing. So we are looking as best we can at avoiding anything that's particularly chemically.
Yeah.
Or at least stuff that's pet friendly and
absolutely pet
child
friendly, bee friendly, insect friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that you could.
I mean, salt and vinegar
pinpoint-
can't be very good for the snails and slugs actually, but for the steps, it's okay.
It's not going everywhere, I hope. So
No.
I would have thought like there's plenty of places for them to go.
Yes.
And we do tend to move. Well, you do, because I'm not touching a slug.
I moved them to safer places.
Slugs in my bed. And there's plenty of places for them to go. We tend to move them around, so we have to do it at that. I mean, you can't do everything to help every animal, otherwise you'll just have an insane overgrown garden.
That is something that I think over the past week I've got a little bit better with, but I hate, like, I feel bad for days when I tread on a snail, and like I think digging things up, I'm aware that I'm like, I don't know, I don't like messing with wildlife. So that's been something that I have kind of been overcoming a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
we'll be like midway through like a big thing or digging something massive, and then everything stops because we've got to like save a snail. There was a particular time when we were on holiday which entirely halted our enjoyment because you had to save a bee drowning in the middle of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Claire took her pants off.
But I had to.
You didn't take your pants off though, did
No,
you? You were wearing a hat. Like,
Scared-
suddenly, like,
I'm
there was this
scared of
faff,
getting
and she was
stung.
just waving her pants around, and we were like, well, what's she doing? And then she was like, I'm trying to save a bee. She's literally just waving her pants. They were snorkelists doing that.
Snorkelists?
Snorkelists? Are they not snorkelists? What are they called?
Shall we move on to
Swimmers.
the next
Yeah.
bit of the garden? I think we're going a little off track.
Absolutely, it's a white bum in the middle of the ocean. But
Okay,
yeah.
Ross, let's move on to the next level.
You're lucky I said bum.
So coming up through the lovely archway, which actually again was featured in Emma's show garden at Malvern, we put, again, I believe it's in the jasmine family, put a plant on that yesterday.
Jasmine family. The jasmine family.
Oh, also we're getting pelted by these things from the magnolia tree. They are dropping like flies at the moment. But yeah, coming up to this level, this is the level that has definitely had the most work. And we've spent the most time in as well, isn't it?
Well, this is the sociable area that it doesn't look at the moment because it's a bit of a mess for good reason. But yes, this is the bit that I think we all quite like because this is the bit where we hang out the most, which you'll see in a minute. Yeah, also it's the bit that gets like the most light by a long shot in not every angle of it because of this blooming big tree, which again we're learning about, like that just blocks off a lot of light in certain spots. So yeah, it's kind of like it's the bit that's the most sociable. It's like we get a lot of light from it from we can sit down later. We get light all the way through the evening as well. Like we were sitting out last night. It was sunny until 10 o'clock and the sun was just it was just right over there. There's a big patch of sky. We're very lucky with the angle that we've got. So yeah, hence why it's probably the place that we're spending the most amount of time getting right. It's the place we're going to hang out the most.
And we did also make a couple of other purchases when we were at Malvern. So obviously, I know, very naughty, but we were like, you know what?
It wasn't naughty, it was I went to Malvern with this plan.
It was a great plan. We got some beautiful furniture, which actually, very fancy, does have a fire ability, fire pit.
Yeah, it's got like a little fire pit in the middle of the table. So that we can be out here, probably not in freezing temperatures, but certainly as it gets a little bit chillier in the evening. Last night it was boiling until 10 o'clock. But yes, we can absolutely do a bit of that, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we haven't used it yet. We need to get gas for it, so we haven't actually...
We haven't needed to either.
No, it's been so warm recently. Yeah. Also, it was just Ross's birthday, hence the birthday bunting that's up. But we also got a pizza oven when we were at Malvern, and that has been something that we have wanted for such a long time. You are like the bread king. You love making a good dough.
I like cooking generally. I'm a big fan of pizza, and I've always wanted something like this. And I remember them from being there last year at Malvern, and yeah, it was like the first place I went to. Said I was going to get it. We sorted it all out, and they were amazing. Yeah, it turned up within like 2 days. It was great.
Yeah. So we've been, we had pizza last night. We've had a lot of pizza over these last few weeks, which kind of leads us on to the first big project that you are taking on in the garden, which is the...
Big project, yeah. A few things have been done in the meantime, but yeah.
What is it, Ross?
I'm building a barbecue.
/ pizza oven
/ pizza oven sort of stand, yes, I suppose. So I've always wanted to build. I like cooking. I've always wanted to build like a big barbecue of my own in my own home. And yes, we've sort of started it, and it's now coming along. So at the moment, it doesn't look very good, but hopefully you'll be able to see.
I think it does.
Well, it doesn't. You wouldn't want it in your garden, but you'll see also what else we've got to sort of build around it. We'll talk a bit more about that. But yes, so I've begun building that one this week. I am off work, so I very much intend to finish it in the course of this week. So watch this space. You'll see that get kind of turned into something quite cool. So far it's still up, but I've never bricked in my life.
You've done lots of kind of drawings and planning out of how you want it to look.
I've sort of seen people do it. You can Google online and it may make it look so easy as well. And you think you can brick when you watch these guys do it, and it is really, really not tough, but it is a really tricky. You can see why brickies have a good trade, because it is really quite tough to do it. And I'm glad I'm not doing anything like a long big wall or something. I'm glad this is the sort of project, and because it's a barbecue and we've got the types of material that allows it to look a bit rustic, which is really a great way of getting away with doing a bad job.
Well, we've opted, instead of using normal bricks, we've opted to use these kind of like sandstone colour, like big chunky blocks, just because we wanted it to look really rustic and just lovely. And we have massively over-ordered on them as well, haven't we? So there's potential to use them elsewhere in the garden.
Yeah, and they are big, heavy. Well, you'll see them in a minute. They're huge. And again, just really appreciate when we say how much we go up and down these steps. Imagine carrying the level of bricks that we have. So it's, hell of a workout.
The thickness of these steps, honestly, it's ridiculous. They're big kind of sleepers. And actually...
They're child killers. They really are.
So the section that we're standing in right now, actually, that was very like muddy and not like, it was just kind of a slope of mud before. And you built some steps, didn't you?
Yeah, built three steps just to sort of level it out a bit, just to make it a little bit easier to walk on, a little bit nicer to look at.
Again, like that wasn't using brick or anything. That was pretty much just hammering some wood together, sticking it down into the ground and filling it with earth. Like, maybe not the recommended way of doing things, but it worked. It's worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the benefit of hindsight, I probably would have done things slightly differently, but they have been up for a while and they have like carried us with very heavy things attached to us, and they are still standing. So do you know what? I think I did an all right job considering.
Totally. And even if they don't last forever, it's fine. We've at least got structure here now that we can go back in, and we can change things if we want to further down the line.
Right. I think they're staying.
I think they work well.
Would have happened by now, wouldn't they?
Yeah. And then next to, obviously, the steps is the beautiful bit that you did when I was at Malvern.
I'm filming inside in spite of me doing this outdoor thing because our neighbours are outside. As lovely as they are, I'm not talking to the camera whilst they're there. As funny as they would find it, I'm just not doing it. So Claire might use this for audio and do some clever stuff with it. I don't know. It's got some clips of what I've done. So today I've laid all the flowers, which you may be seeing now. They have all gone down. I'm hoping that if Claire is posting this, it means that she likes what I did, because I did go rogue and do this without her. I thought it would be, as I said before, quite nice for her to come back and see some flowers and stuff. I only did a little bit, so one, you can always dig them up, and two, the rest of the garden is ours to play with.
How did you do that, Ross? What did you do?
What did I do? I mean, to be honest, it was just we've got this sort of nice sort of patch like leading up to the side of the steps. So once the steps have been built in, I bought this sort of rusty kind of metal fencing, which I thought would look quite cool. Getting that in was really difficult, actually, because it's really thin. I thought you'd be able to bang it in and it would just sort of like almost like kind of cut in like a knife, but it didn't. It just bent. So I had to dig out quite a lot of what was already there and then sort of slowly kind of like wedge it in with the these are all technical terms, sort of wedge it in bit by bit and then kind of pack in the more soil around it to hold it in place. And it was more fiddly than it was difficult, and then I just kind of so dug out sort of a lot what was there. It was full of leaves and weeds and things like that, and then just dug it out, grabbed a few plants from the local garden centre, which again, I wish I had paid more attention to some of the plants, because some that have thrived, some haven't. And again, it's just down to lighting. I didn't really think about it. Again, at the time, we didn't quite have, this tree is so bushy.
Oh my goodness.
So it's quite low light until you get to the front, and you can kind of tell when you see it what plants are doing well and what not. And clearly ones that are light sensitive. So and especially with what we've done, so the plants are just behind. They're all really like highlight plants. That's a great spot for light. The ones at the front of it are clearly doing well. Anything further back than that, it's very much down to the light. So we're probably going to have to take a few of them out and then probably grab some ones that are lower light ones at the top and bring it down. And I think it would look quite cool because there's a bit of space there.
I think it would as well.
Some haven't made it, some are doing really well.
I was going to say, I mean, considering neither of us have really done this before, I think most of the stuff that we've put in has done quite well. In my mind, I was like, we're going to do loads of growing from seed and loads of vegetable growing. And to be honest, haven't done any of that so far this year. None at all. I know it's not too late for some things. And in fact, my mum said she'd give us a tomato plant, which would be quite nice. But yeah,
that's kind of phase next.
It is. You just can't do everything at once. And I think like I'm very good at thinking like big ideas and just wanting to make it all happen now. But yeah, just getting to know the garden. And like for me, this is going to sound so weird maybe to some of you, but like building a bit of a relationship with the garden, because I knew you'd make that face. But I don't know, like when everyone was like, oh, are you excited to finally have an outdoor space? I was like, I'm excited to be in it, but I don't know if outdoor gardening is for me. I don't know if I'm going to like it at all. And I'm like, the first few times that you were out here kind of working away, and I don't know, I wasn't that keen. But I actually, in the last couple of weeks, really, I feel...
Well, I think I'm dreadfully British, so when I see sun, I have to be in it, and because we don't see much of it, so when we do, we all kind of really want to be out in it. And again, it's really nice to have some sort of space. And I can sit still, but I do like the idea of doing something. So I couldn't just sort of sit out here for hours on end, kind of not doing anything, or even like reading a book. I know people can pass time. I kind of feel like I need to do things.
I'm very much a doer as well.
And and that's what's really nice about it, because obviously this garden is like even if you're just sweeping part that comes off the tree, it's at least something to do. But at least then when you've done it, it looks really nice. And it's just an extension of the house, really. But I think we wanted, because we kind of moved in and we knew that we wanted to like get stuck in, we wanted to have people around immediately, we wanted a place to people to come around and sort of us to have a space. I think as we kind of get past summer, we'll start doing more like, I don't know, seeds and stuff like that, things that you can prepare for. So you go, oh, when do you put those in so they're ready for summer?
Totally.
We'll kind of do more of that. I think it was just more, we wanted something immediate that when you walk in, you go, oh, that looks really nice, and we can really appreciate it, and then probably spend some time figuring that out.
I must do a bit of a garden tour at my mum's, because her garden is just beautiful.
I am sure that everyone would love to see your mum's back garden.
Stop making my life more difficult with the editing.
She gave me a few little tips when I was doing this.
Did she?
And actually, one of the tips that she sort of said was actually, garden centres will do it for you. If they're putting them out, they're the ones that are ready for this time of year. So on the basis that they're
Makes
out,
sense.
that makes a lot of sense. And it does, because we were there yesterday and everything was high sun kind of places. So that was quite a bit of a tip, is like, if you're at a garden centre in that season, that's probably what you're going to get out of them. So it probably makes sense to go on a regular basis and grab things that are looking nice at the time you buy them.
And also ask questions at the garden centre. I know I was making a right pain of myself yesterday.
Oh, you need a Claire, because I am...
But I ask everything, and to be honest, it's how I've learnt. But it's how I've learnt what I know now about indoor gardening, through asking an obscene amount of questions, because I don't know anything, and like the people that work there typically either have the knowledge or have access to the knowledge in a way that a lot of us don't if we haven't done this before. So
we're really lucky. We've got this lovely garden centre, they are really, really helpful, and like genuinely so.
And we bought some new plants yesterday, didn't we? And they are in a beautiful planter that you made out of a pallet that the rocks arrived on. Yeah. And again, like, you've never done this before, and it's come out really well. And the flowers look absolutely
It's so easy. I'd heard people say like you can do things with pallets, and we've had, I'm trying to think, we must have had about 6 pallets arrive in various shapes and sizes, and this was one of the more standard ones. And and one of the easiest things, you literally you cut it into like thirds, 2 together, and then and it must have taken me half hour, maybe,
really,
if that. And I think it would take
all.
someone smarter a lot less time. It's held together really well. And now it holds, and I think it looks quite cute.
You should probably do a step-by-step, actually, once you've made a couple more, and show everyone exactly how you made it. This was kind of just a figuring it out one, wasn't it?
I went online. I did sort of find someone that
it's in first attempt.
Yeah, first attempt of giving it a go, and there are some things I could have done a bit differently, but it's held together quite well. I mean, there's a fair bit of dirt in it, and it's not breaking, so we'll.
And you might notice that next to the lovely planter is my yucca plant. And when we moved house, a lot of you guys were saying, what's happened to the yucca? Like, has the yucca not come with you? Did it not make it? And it was doing okay, but it's such a big plant. Firstly, very difficult to transport. It had quite a big chop back when I left it out on the balcony for such a long time over winter last year, that I was like, you know what, I'm going to just chop the whole thing back and just see what happens. And we've put it outside in this spot, and as you can see, there's loads of new little bits of growth coming through, and it looks gorgeous.
It's mad, isn't it? It's
I mean, when that fills out, that's going to be the most insanely full plant, because it's had this chop back. And because
I thought we'd lost that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I've seen other people do it. I've never given my own yucca such a dramatic chop before. But yeah, it will not only now be a much fuller plant, but because we've also put it outside at this time of year when it is really warm and really sunny, in theory, it should be able to just be grown outside as an outdoor plant here in the UK now, which would be amazing because it would look lovely in that spot.
No, yeah, I'm really glad, and I think it will look really nice there. And as you say, it should it read through some pretty rough temperatures, and they are hardy old plants. So for a tropical plant, it doesn't mind England. No. So again, I think that's going to be a nice spot there.
It's going to be a garden plant now. It gets good light there.
Yeah, and obviously add a bit of green to what can be a bit of a dead garden eventually. So it's
And the other thing that we are going to do is we are going to give our magnolia tree. We were so lucky. We've got 2 beautiful magnolia trees, one of which you can probably see above us here because it is flopping down into shot. But it does, as I say, block out so much light, and oh my goodness, because it doesn't keep its leaves all year round, which is such a shame actually. I really wish it was an evergreen tree.
It goes through like 3 phases, doesn't it? You've got dead, then it goes bright pink, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It really stunning. Is. It looks so nice, and we caught that when we moved in. Then they drop and they turn to mush like that, so you're constantly sweeping up the leaves. Then you get this big green amount, and it's huge. I couldn't believe how much it grows.
The leaves are so soft as well.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's growing mentally. So we do need to give it a bit of a trim. Otherwise, currently we're ducking every time we try to get into our garden.
Gonna say, I think get a
man in for that.
Get a man in. Not a massive chop back, but just to clear, especially with the barbecue and everything. We don't want any trees burning down.
Yes, so we are going to need to give it a little bit. We've got a nice place. We chose a good place for the barbecue, I hope. But it is going to need a little bit. Yeah, it's going to need a bit of that, and also it does encroach on our neighbours a little bit. And as nice as they are, it'd be nice to sort of take a little bit back and
neaten it up a bit.
But not a lot in the scheme of things, but enough to so because currently it's a bit of a hazard when you walk up. I've banged my head on it so many times, and I'm not tall, so like regular people would struggle to not bump their head. So a little bit of that might be needed, but we'll probably get a surgeon in.
Yes, but that's kind of the gist-ish of this level, isn't it? And then
yes, you'll see. Yeah, we'll show you this, and this.
Should we carry on up?
Let's carry on up.
I can't do it. So, the top of the garden currently looks like a pit of mud.
This is the best it's looked.
It is the best it's looked. So when we first moved in here, it was just a little bit weedy. There were just lots of weeds everywhere.
Yeah, I don't remember it because we were looking back at it, and I always remember it looking absolutely mental.
Well, all of a sudden, all of these like brambles, nettles, bindweeds,
stinging nettles. They came up monsters.
They were huge. You could barely get across this bit of the garden. And I think, was it last weekend? I just was like, was it last weekend?
It was like, it must have been.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lost track of time.
Half a week off, haven't we?
But I was just like, okay, I'm going to tackle it. And I got very stung, but got pretty much everything up. And it's kind of made us go, oh my goodness, we've got all of this space that we didn't really realise that we had before. And currently don't know exactly what we're going to do with it, but we think the first step is probably move the compost heap to the back of the garden and turf this area, get some grass down. Especially because we don't have, obviously the middle section of the garden is lovely, but we don't have that much grass. It would be nice to have a space that we could just come and chill on, put a picnic blanket down.
Obsessed with picnics.
I love picnics.
Just every time we just go have a picnic.
I love picnics. But and I don't know. You wanted to you were talking about hot tubs,
saunas, which we still have room for. These are fun things that may or may not happen, or certainly down the line because they are a bit spenny.
Oh yeah, but further down the line for sure.
Yeah, it was just because at the time I've been staring at it, kind of going, it's just been this space that we're never going to do anything with because it was just so overgrown and it looked horrible, really. But we knew we were kind of working our way up. We knew that because the decking was already there, we had this opportunity to make a nice social space. So it wasn't really too much of a big deal. It was kind of where I was throwing the dirt from where I was digging out the barbecue to lob on here, create a few compost heaps, and that was kind of it. And then you just cleared this within like a morning.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe
my
like,
legs hurt for days afterwards.
She didn't mention it. But yeah, and suddenly we've just got all this space, and it kind of made my brain kind of go on fire, because I was like, what can we do? We could do this, we could do this. And I think
the potential is
simple
crazy.
is actually the way forward, I think, because it's so the shade we get up here is amazing, and it's been so hot the past couple of days, hasn't it? And sitting down there it's been roasting, and there's almost kind of, I think we were thinking it would be really nice to have a place where we could come where it's a bit shaded, so not fill it with loads of things, not overdo it too much, borders and stuff. Yeah. But also it would be just quite a nice place to step out of the sun for a bit. So,
I mean, it would just be nice to have, a spot that's really, I mean, we could do, I'm sure we will do more kind of growing in this area. And I mean, we could chop back the tree and we could get some more light and we could do some raised beds or something like that. But for the time being, keeping things simple and leaving it open to future projects when we've spent a bit more time in this area, I'm really keen to put, like, we got some kind of medium dappled light bushes and like kind of get a bit more just, I don't know, just surrounding feeling a little bit greener, because we are quite exposed here. And in fact, our fence next to our neighbour, it only comes up to about here. Again, hence why currently Yoli still has to be on her lead in the garden and everything, because very low fence, lots of cats. And we can just see her disappearing off through the garden, going on a wild cat chase, and it just wouldn't be good. Dog proofing is another thing that we've kind of semi-started in some areas, but like gates and stuff like that, I think, to divide
we'd
spaces.
Like eventually to be able to get Yoli kind of potentially off the lead in certain spots.
Yeah.
And
I know some of you have said, oh, it's her garden, the cats will get out the way or whatever. It's not a risk that we are willing to take. Absolutely not. She lived with my mum's cats for a couple of years when I was back there, and she was unbelievably bad with the cats. We tried lots of things to kind of slowly introduce them, and even with the muzzle on, she would just go.
Even if they go, she could clear a fence, she gets out, and it's one of those things that I think, you've sort of said that she's getting a bit older and she's slowing down a little bit, so maybe
she might slowing down yet.
Well, she might be not as able to, maybe if we fatten her up, she won't be able to climb the fence, I don't know, maybe that's the solution, but what we do, it's one of those things that I just think any of us want that, and because she does kind of really, she gets quite riled up when she sees a cat. It's not like your average cat, a dog that just chases after them. She does kind of go at them with a certain intention, shall we say, and the last thing any of us want is to go knocking on someone's neighbour's door with half a cat. So it's it's one of those things that she is a special dog, and I think we just want,
I mean, it's just safety for her and for us, and making sure that, I mean, she's out here in the garden.
Anxiety of having to worry about her as well. I think over time
she's
we'll get
out
used to
here
it.
in the garden all the time, and she does potter about, and we tie her to trees, and she's got her freedom within
with a nice long lead.
So she's got a long roaming. She could do her own thing, but at the moment we're just doing it in the way that feels safest for us.
But so I mean, it'd be nice, and as you say, it'd be nice if we had like a nice sort of easy green space where we're up here with her, and there's other potential people that may appear over time, and we want to make sure that is something we're thinking about.
I mean, we kind of were thinking about maybe like a little picket fence or something similarly to what we said about the front garden, maybe a gated area and a picket fence just running around the front of this, because again, these drops are brutal. They are like, if we fell off, then we'd hurt ourselves. And
oh gosh, I mean, there's anyone that falls off. I mean, it's I mean, they are there. We've had a few people come round and you sort of come up here, have a few drinks, and people come. Then suddenly realise how steep they are. It's rough for humans, let alone tiny humans. So there's a little bit of work to be done around that as well, which I think would look quite cute as well.
I think
there's
it would
some
look
little things we could do. I've suddenly got a buzz for this space now, because I feel like
it's quite exciting. It feels like we've just kind of uncovered it, because our focus has been elsewhere.
Much. Like, some people don't even have this as a garden. We're so lucky that we've got this.
So lucky.
Yeah, it's a really cool space we have.
Yeah, this was our dream house, and it's so. We keep saying, we're pinching ourselves at how lucky we are to actually finally have our own space, and such a lovely space. It's just.
We were talking, and because I think no other place we looked at had the garden like this.
No. But I did, maybe because I'm not an outdoor gardener, or I haven't been, I wasn't massively excited by this garden when I first saw it. I was like, oh yeah, it's a nice space. But now I'm like, oh, it's amazing how it can just transform so quickly.
I think that was something I was quite looking forward to. I think I was quite keen on a garden, even if it wasn't necessarily anything as mad as this one. And we saw a couple of places that you could have done something with, but we'd have been done by now. Whereas this will never be done.
No, there's always going to be things to do. And we'll keep you updated as and when they happen.
Stuff's going on, isn't it?
Stuff is happening. So, yeah, stay tuned. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. We've had so much fun doing the garden, and yeah, I'm excited to kind of make this into a little potential gardening series, maybe an episode a month or something like that.
Yes, if you guys like it, we were thinking about doing a bit more, because there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
In this garden, we've got I'm looking around now. There's just that patch down there that needs sorting. I mean, it's just that there's
many
weekends galore of things, and then once you've kind of got them, then you've got to maintain them, haven't you? So
and
there's stuff to be
also,
done.
let us know your ideas, because obviously, particularly the space we're standing in right now, very much a blank canvas, and yeah, we just want to make a beautiful, cosy little, lovely space to enjoy. So yeah, let us know any ideas you've got. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, have a lovely day, and we will see you in the next video.
Stay sexy, plant lovers. Stay sexy, plant lovers.